I'm Lance Phillips. Yesterday, I found an incredible pair of shoes in my closet I didn't even know existed. CK, what hides in your closet?
I'm Chris King, and I have a Teach Me How to Gymmer t-shirt in my closet. BYU for life.
Teach me how to what?
Teach Me How to Gymmer. Jimmer Fredette,
What's Jimmer?
The BYU legend. His t-shirt's in my closet.
Jimmer Fredette.
Look it up.
You got any skeletons in there?
A lot of skeletons. That's why it stays closed all the time.
I don't have any skeletons in my closet, if you believe that.
I don't.
Hey, what's up? Gloves are off. Lance Phillips. Chris King joining us. Josh Ryan off this week. So, CK, good to have you in studio, my man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for you guys having me back.
Yeah, well, hey, you did such a solid job. I nearly was out of a job last time. So we have to get you back here.
I didn't get that same response, so that's
no.
very odd.
The buddies didn't have good things to say,
Yeah,
or what?
a lot of chirping.
Oddly enough, that was our most watched show of all time, I think. Just catch us on Twitter all the time, at Gloves TV, of course, Facebook, at the Gloves Newcap. Some football news is coming up, Kinger. We've got bold predictions with Kinger later in the show, but let's first start with that football news. Lloyd Comp Barons Holy Rosary Raiders getting set for a season opener September 15th. Kinger, is this the year that the Comp Barons have the upper hand?
This could be the year. They have an up-and-coming QB, Garrett Musgrave, who shows a little bit of passing, a little bit of running game, which might be enough to topple.
Like a lot of running game.
Yeah.
Like a lot of running game.
And it might be enough to take down that Holy Rosary defense that's been very strong for them in the past.
I can't believe what this kid can do. First of all, he's ranked #1 in Saskatchewan among high school QBs. He's arguably the best athlete they have on the team. He can throw, he can catch, he can run, he can do it all. And if he can't do it all, they have a pretty decent backup in Anton Amandrud, who essentially led the Red Dogs for most of the season as a grade 9. He's now a grade 10, of course. This team has it all. They really do. The only thing that I saw in their 43-36 win over North Battleford, who's ranked #5 in Saskatchewan, defense a little suspect. I think this is the year for the Barons. Rosary quarterback situation not fully intact.
Even though the QB situation isn't there, Rosary's been good for the past 5,
but they
6,
lost some
7.
big names, man.
You always lose names, though, right? If your program's good, you're able to replace and replenish, right? So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have one of these shootouts where it's going to come down to last possession here, down at the Holy Dome or at Comp, whoever's hosting that game, and it's going to be awesome for the fans. I'm really excited to see this rivalry kind of go to another level.
One thing that's been said numerous times is that, there's no substitute for good coaching, and that has been the case at both of these schools for a long time, especially at Rosary. Vince Oreo, outstanding coach, and he's got a lot of great guys behind him who really know their stuff, and that's one thing that really bodes well for the Raiders.
Yeah, and Lloyd Comp has a chip on their shoulder for the last
for sure
5 or 6 years, so there's a little bit of revenge playing in effect to that.
And they also haven't won a provincial title since the 90s. Since the 90s.
That's when I was in school.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
No way. Did you see them win that title?
I didn't, because I was down the road in Kitscotty. But speaking of no titles, the Toronto Blue Jays season is coming to a wrap for 2017. What does 2018 hold for them?
It holds not so good things as far as their record is concerned. However, what it does hold is hopefully some new guys getting into the mix. Guys like Rowdy Tellez, who struggled a little bit down in AAA. Some of these younger players they have, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. And hopefully we're going to see it this fall. We're going to see them get in that lineup, and I'm hoping we'll see them fully in 2018.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to see that they get these reps in for like Anthony Alford.
Anthony Alford's a stud, okay?
But they won't play him. For some reason,
he's injured a lot. He's injured a lot, but
Right.
He's a football guy turned stud baseball player who's incredible in the outfield, really.
Yeah, and you look at these guys, him, Pompey, if he's ever healthy, another Canadian product.
Right.
I'm excited with what they have coming up for prospects. I'm a little worried about the pitching depth. In 2018, I'm a little scared that if they go down 1 or 2 injuries, they're not going to do well, kind of like they're doing right now. They got to hit free agency big, though.
Connor Green, Connor Green is a guy that hopefully can really make that jump for them, because he, again, another guy who's got a lot of potential, real high ceiling, but just hasn't been able to get past that AA level so far.
Yeah, and it's exciting for a Jays fan to see these guys starting to come up, getting their little touches. Harris is another one of those pitchers that needs to get the reps. He's getting roughed up a little right now, but what the future holds is less Joey Bats and more athletic players that can do
I think it's safe
things.
to say that Jose Bautista is done as a Blue Jay after this year.
I hope so. I got a few T-shirts that are on the burn pile. So
Unless they're going to pay him $100,000, because that's all he's been basically worth at this point.
I think he could be like a ball boy maybe, because that's what he does in right field, right? Watches the ball go by his head.
That's essentially exactly what he does. What are you going to do with the Donaldson situation?
I've been very adamant about this. You need to trade him, and you need to get as many assets as possible.
No way, he's got to stay.
You have to trade him.
No way, he's got to stay. They're not totally rebuilding this team. That's one thing to keep in mind. They do have a lot of assets on this team right now. They get him basically for another year due to arbitration, but they've got to keep him.
Does he come back to the Jays in free agency? I don't think so. I think he's a Yankee, or Dodger, or a Sox after free agent.
Hey, they all can pay the same amount of money. They can all pay the same amount of money. Guys losing money currently in the NFL, guys like Ezekiel Elliott being suspended for domestic violence, and we've seen a rash. Vontaze Burfict, who should have been suspended from the league years ago and never ever played again. Is the NFL, Chris, finally starting to make up for lost time and lost opportunities when now making all these suspensions?
Well, I think one of the problems with the NFL is you view it as the biggest league in terms of money. Guys are front and center when they do things wrong. And now they're finally starting to punish 3-game suspension, 4-game suspension, which is a big chunk of their season and a big chunk of pay cut. I think the only way you get these guys on track is when you start taking away their income and their livelihood.
They are so far behind in suspensions that it seems like now, okay, hey guys, we got to start doing something now. We got to start making suspensions happen now. And it goes back to, I've said this numerous times with the Ray Rice thing. That was a mess. That was a huge mess.
And it's so bad because all of these domestic abuse and some of the other ones, the drug problems, are on Twitter. They're on YouTube. You and me can watch that.
No, for sure.
And that's terrible.
But if it's things like pot, I'm not sure I have such a problem with that, especially if it's medicinal, which we've seen in the past. Right. NFL players being suspended for medicinal use of marijuana. Like, that's insane. Yeah. Like, if you're going to suspend a guy, let's suspend guys like Elliott who have domestic violence issues. Those are the kinds of guys you don't want playing in the league.
Yeah, and you got to make the impact on the stars, right? If a star screws up, it's easier to show the whole world, hey, we're serious about this, and then you can filter it down.
Yeah, but it's also harder to make the world show that he's being penalized when you don't penalize him properly.
That's true, and it's not going to stay as a 6-gamer. That's for sure.
What, you think it's going down?
I think it's going to go down. I think
it can't go down. It absolutely can't.
It should be more, in my opinion, but it's going to go down. Absolutely.
If he's found guilty, what are you doing here?
I think he should be suspended.
You got to throw the book at him
for the year, for sure.
Is that it? I feel like it should be way more than that. You can't allow these guys to do these kinds of things and get away with it.
I agree 100%, but they have no kind of backbone to go on. Speaking of teams that need to make playoffs, we have the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers finally finishing their Isaiah Thomas trade. This took about 3 weeks, give or take, and now we kind of see what's shaking out of this. Finally, a 2020 draft pick is coming towards Cleveland to finish the deal.
It's minor. That's the least of the. It's a 2020 second round draft pick that is of the Miami Heat. So that's the minimum. That's nothing compared to what else they gave up. But the power's shifting here ever so slightly. I still don't believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to get beat by anybody in the East. Anybody. But Boston is solidifying themselves a little bit more as a serious contender to at least get to an NBA Finals. Beyond that nobody's going to beat the Golden State Warriors. But I'm not sure I'm seeing a power shift here.
I think that solidifies the Celtics as the contender against the Golden State Warriors. Because I think Kyrie Irving is that good offensively.
He is not as good as LeBron James.
No, but he's that good offensively that Boston's team is better than Cleveland's team. If you go wash Kyrie for LeBron, if you wash that out, I think Boston's got a better team.
But Kyrie and LeBron aren't a wash. That's not a wash.
I think Kyrie basically hit big shots to win their championship. Right down the stretch, Kyrie made plays, made buckets. LeBron obviously is the best player in the NBA. I will give him that. But I think the Celtics team is deeper, and I think they have more skilled guys that can knock down shots. I like the Celtics over the Cavs right now. And I like the coaching on the Celtics as well.
It's not like you got just a grunt guy in Isaiah Thomas over to Cleveland. You got a pretty decent ball player over there.
For sure, but is he going to be healthy enough to play? That's my concern on Isaiah Thomas. He's out at least till Christmas, maybe more.
I don't believe that you can sit here and say that the Cleveland Cavaliers are not as good a team overall as Boston. And given LeBron is the X factor here. He's the guy that constantly spurns team to greatness. Every team he's been at, they've won. Every single team he's been with, they've won.
He's amazing, there's no doubt. But I think the Celtics are better right now.
That's a bold prediction. You should have saved that for bold predictions.
It's truth. Sure. It's just truth.
CFL is considering bringing in Johnny Manziel. Is this actually just a ploy to get rid of the Art Briles situation, Kerr?
I think it is, but let's be honest about this. If Johnny's healthy, he can play. I think he would be a really good CFL.
Is this when he's high or when he's
yeah,
not
when
high?
I say healthy, I mean not on drugs, not on liquor, but able to play the game. And I don't know if he was ever like that in college, to be honest, but his skill set is impressive, and I think it would fit well in the CFL. I think they might have been doing this just to kind of push the clouds over.
There's no doubt they were doing it to push the dark cloud aside.
But
hey, focus on this instead. Check out this shiny new toy.
If you have a chance to get a guy like that on the field, would he not be good in the CFL?
Like, it was a 20-minute workout. It was a lot of players struggle making that transition from NFL to CFL. It's not easy, especially on the quarterback side. A lot of guys have really struggled that way. Does he make the team better? Does he make the team better than Zach Collaros? I don't know about that. At this present time, I'm not sure anybody makes that team better. But he's, as it stands right now, Zach Collaros is the better quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He knows the systems, he knows the game, he knows the CFL game, and he's not high all the time.
Right, which is a key. But what brings people in the door? I think
guys that are high on the field all the time?
Exactly.
Wins bring people in the door. Wins are going to bring people in the door, and Johnny Manziel is not going to come into this team and start getting them wins.
For sure, but I think publicity-wise, I think the CFL has always kind of lacked on this front. I think getting a guy like that, if he was clean, and I'm reiterating, if he was clean, on a team,
man.
But that brings in a lot of interest, right? Big name CFL or big name NFL guys that come to the CFL generate that interest for the common fan, like say myself, that doesn't watch every single CFL game.
But if he's a bust, that interest is gone. If he's a bust, that interest is gone. It's like vapor. It's instantly gone. He needs to win games for this team if they're going to bring him in. June Jones is an NFL guy. I mean, their head coach is an NFL guy originally. So, I can see why he would want to bring Manziel in, but I think it's a bad move. I think that's a bad move. I think it's a guy you stay away from until he's proven over a lengthy course of time that he can, in fact, stay clean.
And he hasn't done that so far.
No.
So they'll stay away.
He is.
Hurricane Harvey hit Houston area hard last week. And the NFL has stepped up in a big way, especially J.J. Watt. And I think a lot of the athletes have done a great job helping this community.
Incredible.
Yeah. So to date, millions and millions and millions of dollars from their public stance has been generated to kind of rebuild the city, which is going to take forever. And I think it's really interesting to see players are using their platform to bring in relief funds.
What's being done there is flat out incredible. I mean, to raise the amount of money that these guys are raising, and J.J. Watt is kind of the founder of this right now, but he's getting hockey guys on board, he's getting baseball guys on board, and the fact that these guys have put together this sort of movement is really impressive. And I think this bodes well for the rest of the sporting world. We're already seeing a lot of things develop. We saw Montreal really vie to try and get the Houston Astros to play games at Olympic Stadium. Ended up going to Florida. But you're seeing a lot of sports trying to rally around and try and help this city. The best thing right now would be if the Houston Astros could win a World Series. That's the best possible scenario right now.
Which they're trying really hard.
They are trying hard. I mean, Verlander's there now, and they got a legit shot. Yep. They have a legitimate shot at doing it. But that disaster down there, while it can bring people together, it also can create a lot of issues with this team not being able to play in their own stadium.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that I take away from this disaster is players are starting to figure out that they have a public forum that they can really help communities, not only in disaster, but just in good times and bad times. I think the players realize that it's okay to speak out, it's okay to donate their funds, and like you said, actresses, sports athletes are donating. So I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing out of the sporting community as a whole.
And I think the other thing it does too is it gives a lot of people, especially in the NFL, for a long time has had a bad name as it pertains to, as we talked about, suspensions, even just suspensions and things along those lines. So this is a really good movement to help bring more of a spotlight to players in a good way in that league, and that's something they needed for a long time.
Big time,
quite frankly. Yeah. Albert, coming up on the other side, he's loaded. He's fat, he's full of tweets, he's ready to go.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
I know you're not here very often, but so you probably don't see the amount of sunglasses this bird goes through, but this is like another new pair.
This is my favorite pair so far.
Is it really?
Yeah, I like
what do you like about those ones?
I think that he could be water skiing right now.
Yeah, they cost a lot of money. And
so
he gets us to pay for them, of course.
Of course, he
doesn't
does.
buy them himself. He just spends all his money on liquor and cheap women.
And sunglasses,
Yeah,
obviously.
No, that's what we spend the money on. Am I first or you first?
I'm up.
All right, my man.
Let's see what's in here.
Got it.
All right, we got at Eric Fawcett. Bartolo Colon is truly the most interesting man in the world. And it shows 3 things you need to know about Bartolo. He threw rocks at coconuts and mangoes to build arm strength as a kid, which is amazing.
That's unbelievable.
He also pulped hundreds of crates of coffee beans a day.
A day?
A day. There's no wonder why he turned out like this.
I mean, he's 44 years old and he's still playing Major League Baseball.
He doesn't look like, he's never looked like a baseball player, this guy.
No, he's never looked like an athlete, period. Like when he gets, he's like a big potato with sticks. It's like just a big potato that throws the ball around.
7 shades of fastball.
John Horn, at Sports Horn. This is Eugenie Bouchard. Eugenie Bouchard in 2017, U.S. Open, lost in the first round. Rogers Cup, lost in the first round. Wimbledon, lost in the first round. French Open, lost in the second round. Australian Open, lost in the third round. Hashtag WTA. Should be hashtag WTF.
Yeah,
She's brutal.
Yeah.
And brutal is putting it lightly. She is gone downhill to the point that she's not coming back.
So where do you go from there?
She's like that old WWF thing where the hand is reaching through the grave trying to claw its way out, except it doesn't claw its way out.
I don't know if many of these viewers saw that hand back in the day.
You know
but I
hand I'm
remember
talking
that
about.
hand exactly. I can remember that exactly. That's childhood right there. All right, we got at highlight. Gotta say, as a white dude who has messed up so many of these shout-outs to reporters for turning the franchise around. Now this was slick.
No, it is slick. Like he nails it. He absolutely nails it.
I also like the look away right after.
Yeah,
like,
we hey
did
man.
that.
And it's like all of a sudden he's just said, "You're my bro. You're my new bro." Like we're good now.
Hey,
It's amazing the amount of retweets that had as
High
well.
probability that I have screwed that up as well. High probability. ESPN UK at ESPN UK. Nick Kyrgios, pardon me, has now broken more rackets, 3, than he has won matches, 2, at Grand Slams in 2017. There's something about watching tennis guys bust up rackets that I just love.
Yeah, there's just no one else around, right? Angry, smash on the ground.
No, there's everybody around. That's
No, but to help you out, like
yeah, no.
the camera's looking at you the whole time.
Yeah,
it's not
No,
like
Mail
there's
in the
something over there.
beak.
And there goes Nick again, busting up a racket. I love it.
And losing.
There's a dude, I can't remember his name. His name evades me. Just smashes it off his head continuously.
I hope he's bleeding after.
He does most of the time.
Yikes. And I got at JJ Watt, 15 million.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, amazing. We already discussed this.
Yeah.
He's doing
And
such a great job.
That
for
was
the city.
days ago. I mean, what
Hey,
these guys
there's
are
mail.
doing is,
Yeah.
it's totally incredible. At Barstool Sports, at Barstool Tweets, Barstool Sports, immediate CTE. Yep, that'll do it. Yep.
I gotta
that'll
say,
do it.
I love football, but this happens way more often than,
what is
it needs to.
Like what is he thinking when he does that kind of stuff?
And the craziest part of that is he has his
Hey,
helmet
there's
in his
mail.
hand, and he just thought, yeah, I'll take that.
Unbelievable.
We got Nelson Kadri up next at 43
As in Nazem Kadri?
Nazim,
Nazim is
as I like to say. and he tweets out, let's get everyone on board. They need our help. Once again, talking about the Houston hurricane victims. And as we discussed, every single sport is pitching in on this.
Have you seen photos and videos of this?
No, I haven't seen this one.
Freeways, like water up to like freeway like signs. I've seen photos
did
of
see
water up to the bottom of overpasses. Like I can't fathom how that happens.
You
The
got
city was
mail.
created flat, right? So it made it a major flood risk.
Well, yeah, for sure, and it's because it's lower down in those Gulf states. It's a mess. Chris Fowler at CB Fowler. All these U.S. fans asking me, can we please claim Shapovalov as a North American? My Canadian friends say, no chance, he's ours. That kid is pretty impressive what he's been doing.
Yeah, was on quite a roll on the weekend too.
It's amazing. Like, I think we have some more about him coming up later in
You've
the show.
got
but what he's done
mail.
is pretty impressive for Canadian tennis.
We got one of my favorites here at Tommy Beer. Odell Beckham of Bridesmaids here.
Yeah.
This,
I mean,
That's full layout.
Yeah, no,
in
it is.
Heels and a short dress.
Look at the girl. Look at the girl in the green. Oh, fail. Total fail, right?
She bailed on that hard.
I used to see girls when I was in Ontario. I used to see girls walking through the beach in high heels, and that's what would happen. They just wipe out. It's just a full collapse. ESPN at ESPN. The NFL's highest paid player in 2017 is still looking for his first playoff victory. That is none other than Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions. $27 million and no win. You can't pin this on Stafford, though. It's a team effort. Well, one guy does not make the team. Quarterback's a big part of it, I'm not going to lie. But he doesn't make the team.
No, he doesn't make the team, but he produces wins. He helps produce wins.
Right,
and he obviously has the best agent in the game.
Yeah, no, for sure.
At Barstool Tweets, well, this is a dead guy.
Yeah, that guy's dead.
Oh, my goodness.
That's Ross Bauer of Cal. And we're going to
It
discuss
was
this
Ross
later.
Bauer
That's a
of Cal.
greasy hit, no matter what you say.
Yeah.
You can't hit guys like that.
Well, he was 3 steps late, and if he plays again, I'd be surprised.
He was ejected for the rest of the game. 3 Down Nation at 3 Down Nation. Former Eskimos receiver Darrell Walker has been released by the #Bucks, which means Darrell Walker is on his way back to the CFL.
So what does that do for them? Makes them a lot better.
It makes whoever he'll sign with, which I'm pretty sure is Edmonton, it makes them incredibly better, and they're already a pretty good team.
Hey, there's mail.
Gives Mike Riley a lot more weapons out
A few
there.
tools in the shed.
You're not kidding.
We got at Cespedes Barbecue
I
here.
love Cespedes Barbecue, man.
Regardless of his diminished stuff and troubling ERA, Homer Bailey will still always have looks like Batman over other players.
How incredible is that?
It's absolutely uncanny.
It's unbelievable.
Are we sure he doesn't act
He looks
Daylight as an
identical to
actor?
Christian Bale. I love doppelgangers. There's nothing better than a good doppelganger. So we usually have tweets from what he looks like. I don't believe we have any today, and that's incredible. Homer Bailey looks exactly like Christian Bale.
You've got mail.
Maybe he's a stunt double.
Highly possible. Sportsnet, at Sportsnet, Austin Matthew adds Pilates to summer training ahead of second season with Leafs. I like this. I used to do a lot of yoga when I was a little bit younger, and as you can tell, it's clearly not. I'm not doing it now, but it's a huge. It improves flexibility. It improves overall mental state. I really like this kind of stuff, and I think more players should do that kind of thing. Did you ever do that when you were? in
We
athletics?
did it, and actually our girls did some of it last year, and it's a tougher workout than you think. Like our
For
girls
sure it
come
is.
out
Did it
sweating.
help them?
Yeah, it helped them. Way less injuries,
You've got
especially in the lower
mail.
half, because our core was stronger.
Let's bang out one more here.
Okay. We got at Timo Solani, at Timo Solani 8. Shane Doan, great human being, amazing career. Thanks for everything you have done for hockey. Good luck, life after hockey, my friend. All-time classic right there.
That guy was truly impressive, what he did over the course of his career. Really quite an incredible accomplishment. We'll be back on the other side with more good stuff from the Gloves Are Off.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
Of course, with Kinger here, it means one thing. Bold predictions with Kinger.
And they're coming up.
They're
They're hot.
I feel like there's some good ones in here, and the best part is that I have no idea what you're going to boldly predict here. But listen, let's start with number 1. What do you got?
Okay, number 1, DeMar DeRozan will shoot over 34% from the three-point line this year.
There is no way that DeMar DeRozan is going to shoot over 34%.
So my Twitter is blowing up right now from his trainer that his three-point game is the icing on the cake to his penetration. They're working so hard on this. Now,
I'm not saying they're not working hard on it, but the fact you think he's going to shoot that high a percentage?
I think he can do it. He did shoot 26% last year, which is terrible. I could kick in 25% probably right now.
We got to get a basket in here. Got to get a basket in here
But
somewhere.
if he can make this jump through the game, I think it's going to be huge. So that's my prediction. He does that, the Dinos are a legit contender like they are every year.
Oh, so now the Boston Celtics are the contender. Now it's
Everyone
the
in
Toronto
the East
Raptors are the
contends.
contender. Like, what's the deal?
The East is even. Everyone's going to win like 42 games, right? Isn't that what happens every year in the
No
East?
chance. Listen, that bold prediction, that's going down. That's
Okay, we'll put it up on the wall for you.
Let's go number 2. What do you got?
Okay, a Bobcats player will score more goals than the team has wins this season.
That happened last year.
It did.
Two players scored 17 goals. The team had 15 wins. I predict that will happen again this year as well.
So I predict
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
no, and I think we're going up in wins. I think they're going to win more this year, but I think someone's going to take a jump on the scoring edge as well. So I'm saying 20-plus goal scorer this year.
A 20-plus goal scorer. That's possible. That's possible given those two players reach 17. That's a possibility. I still believe that there will be more goals scored than the team wins. I think that's fair.
So that's not so bold.
That's not so bold.
Okay.
What about bold prediction number 3?
Number 3, NHL point leader this year will have over 110 points.
Again, not a far stretch. I
So
believe
100 last year, 110 this year.
that again, I don't think that's a stretch. I can see that happening.
It seems so tough to do in modern NHL.
We're talking 10 points though, and McDavid recently,
Like he could do that in one night.
McDavid is creeping up there. A lot of people already consider him the best player in the world over Sidney Crosby. I'm not sure that's the case, but regardless, he's got some talent. I think it can be done.
Well, I'd take him over Sid right now if I had a franchise.
Would you really?
I would, yeah.
Why?
I just think he's going to do so much. Granted, he's younger than Sid.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of him.
All right, bold prediction numero 4. That's French. That's
Okay,
French.
good. There's a reason why I dropped that in school. NHL team will win over 55 games this year.
Oh, I love it. Well, who won 55 games last year?
Washington.
Washington did.
Washington won't this year.
I'm
saying.
All right, so we have some over/under coming up, and I believe that that's another over/under topic. But I'm gonna agree with you here. I believe that there will be a team that wins over 55 games.
Okay. And do you have a favorite for that?
It's hard to say at this point. It's hard to say at this point. I think we'll just kind of leave it. It could be the Arizona Coyotes. It could be the Arizona Coyotes that win 55 games this year.
I think you're wrong. I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
All right, bold prediction number 5.
We're going to go local here. Our Lakeland Rustlers are going to have at least one undefeated team this year.
There's, as much as I appreciate Lakeland Athletics, that's not happening.
Do you know how many times it's happened?
I know it's happened once.
It's happened 3 times. We've had 3 undefeated teams. So,
who are the teams? One was basketball.
men's basketball, women's basketball. Men's basketball twice.
Yeah.
And women's basketball
Was
once.
this in the 70s?
No, this is when I played, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
And a team that I coached. But I think our women's volleyball team could rock that out this year. If things go right for our men's basketball team, they could have a shot. And same with ours, knock on wood.
Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Hey, listen. I know that you have to support Lakeland Athletics here, but you can't sit here and say the women's volleyball team has the best shot. They have
For
the
sure.
best shot. You're without.
So that's our one
You're
right
without your best player.
Yes,
She's sitting
for
on the
sure.
sidelines with a knee problem.
Yeah.
Men's basketball doesn't have a full roster yet. I'm not sure how you think that they're going to go. They're undefeated. Your girls' team isn't going to go undefeated. Volleyball team is the only one that can, and that's a tough call, man. I mean, everything has to go right all throughout the season.
And the tough thing with the volleyball team is everyone's gunning for them now that they're the national
For
champions.
sure they are.
I agree with you there.
They're without Popplestone, who was a major leader for that team last year.
But
you
the
have to
rest is
hope
back.
that Olivia can fill in that role. There's a lot going on there. That's a big if. That is a bold prediction by Kinger right there.
That's my biggest one yet. So mark that down because that's going to happen.
Are you just saying this because you have to support?
No.
Lakeland?
I actually think that. I think 3 teams have a legit shot. I think Sheray's.
If I hooked you up to a lie detector right now,
plug me in right now, please, into my veins.
in the way of couples resort, if I put a gun to your head right now, would you say that?
I would say it.
Hey, hold on. There's no gun to my head here.
I would bet my kids. I'd bet my kids on that. Macy and Nash don't watch this.
Furious.
Okay,
Furious.
moving on. My next one I have. The college football champion this year will be Ohio State.
Wow. Again, not sold. Not sold. That's a bold prediction.
I think they had a really good team last year. I think this year they're going to be even better.
There's another team that plays out of that. There's another team that plays out of that conference that's pretty good.
Ohio State?
Penn State. There's another team that plays in that conference that's going to give them a run for their money. I believe Penn State was absolutely shunned when they weren't in the top 4 at the end of last season. They should have been there, given they won the Big Ten championship.
Do you think record-based, or do you think on previous incidents in the past?
That has nothing to do with what's happening currently in their football. They actually a sanctioned team still has gone on to do what they've done is incredible.
Very impressive when you have all the restrictions on their team.
It's
They've
incredible
built it
what
back
they've done.
fantastic.
And they are a team that I think, when you talk about championship contenders, that's a team that's legitimately a championship contender.
So we got to write that down. Penn State.
I'm not saying they're going to win the championship.
You think they can make Final Four?
I believe they can make Final Four, and I believe they will be in the Final Four.
So we got Penn State, Ohio State,
Alabama. You cannot count out Alabama. And I'm not sure after that. There's a few teams that could be muddling around for that last spot. But I believe if Penn State doesn't finish first, they will be second.
Okay.
Alabama obviously is going to be first going in. They're
sure.
going to hold that until they lose. And if they lose, that's Penn State's there for the taking. I think that's a team in the Big Ten to look out for.
It's interesting. All right, my last one that I got here, John Gibbons is coaching in his final month as a Blue Jays manager.
Wow, that's fascinating. You don't think they're going to give him till the end of the season?
No, I think they're just end of September.
So when the season's over?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant before the season ends.
Sorry, when the season's over, this is it for him. This is his final September run.
You don't think that those 2 years getting to the ALCS is going to allow him to have, we had some struggles here. They had some major injury problems. You don't think that gives him a little bit extra?
No, because those years no one got
Is
injured
that
those
team's
years.
fault, though, Gibbons, or is it the fact that they didn't do enough to solidify their pitching situation?
I think the team was built poorly. I think you built it on all aging vets. And
But
then you
John
hope
Gibbons didn't build the team.
I know for sure, but it suited his personality in terms of roll it out, same lineup every day. Hopefully we hit home runs. I cannot stand watching him give interviews all the time. It drives me nuts. Well, today, boys, we hit the ball.
Over under
hit the
next.
ball.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
Hey, Lance Phillips here with John Gibbons of the Blue Jays. Hey, Gibby, Teoscar Hernandez, guy you got in the Francisco Liriano trade. How did you feel about his performance, even though your team struggled to get any runs last night?
Yeah, young kid, great kid. Slider wasn't working, stuck to his fastball. The boys played hard. That's a tough game. We'll win the next one. Tough kid.
How do you feel about how do you feel about some of these kids you're going to be bringing into the system here?
Yeah, real excited. Don't know any of the names. Real excited about them, though. Should be good kids. They're no Tulo. It's no Martin. We'll roll it out. We'll see what happens.
Thanks for your time, Gibby. John Gibbons. John Gibbons, everybody.
Every night. Same interview every night.
All right, John, over under.
All right.
Same interview every night. You don't respect that lean. I like the lean back.
No.
It makes him, to me, it makes him more approachable.
I think it makes him look like he's lazy and he doesn't care.
Well, he does look like he's lazy.
You come to the college, I'm going to lay back in my chair, you interview me, and we'll see how that goes.
That's a valid point, actually. I can see that being a full-on disaster. All right, over-under. How about I start it off?
Give it to me.
The Cleveland Browns, and this is not the over-under, by the way, that the old gloves are off. This is not the same over-under. The Browns will win I'm going Vegas line here. The Browns will win 3.5 games this season.
I think over.
Over is correct. That's correct. They're going to win at least 4 games this season.
What do you have them pegged at?
I've got them at 4 to 5.
Yeah, I think that's doable. I think they still should be picking the top of the draft, but I think they could win some games.
They may even win more than that.
I don't know
Rookie
how
quarterback,
many
young kid. I kind of like their chances here. Brock Osweiler gone.
Let me put it this way. I would bet it with your money. I don't know if I'd bet that with my money. Vegas odds.
I'm not saying I'm betting with money. I'm not betting with money. I'm just saying that I think they have a legit shot to win 4 to 5 games this year.
That's fair.
All right.
So Ovechkin came back slimmer and underweight, which is a good thing for the Caps. I think he's going to score over 39.5 goals this year.
Holy.
You over and under on 39.5 for Ovi. He had 33
I got to go
last
under
year.
on that. I got to go under. I don't think he scores 40 goals this year.
Team-what? If he's in shape, I think he's got a legit shot.
He's got a shot. He has a shot every year of scoring that many goals,
true.
but he's not going to in 2017, 2018, is what I'm saying.
Well, he's going to lead the league in shots. So
Are
he's
you
gonna
going
try
over
hard.
under on that?
I'm going over, yeah.
You are going
I
over?
think he's going to get 40, yeah. I'm going over.
You think he's going to go score 40 goals?
I think Ovi's scoring 40 this year. If he's in shape, I think he can still score
If
40.
Ovi scores 40, why can't the Caps win 55 games? They have a pretty good team.
They do have a pretty good team, and they always choke in the playoffs.
And they got a pretty good goaltender as well in
Yeah.
Braden Holtby. Local guy. The Edmonton Oilers, talked about this earlier, will win 54.5 games this season.
Inside sources say yes, confirmed. Over.
I'm taking the over on that as well. That's the 55 game or 55 win team, and I think they'll actually win more than 55 this season. You can take that one to the bank.
So possible number 1 seed in playoffs.
They will. They'll be the President's Trophy winners this coming season, and they will roll into the NHL playoffs as a number 1 seed.
That's exciting. I'm excited about the Oilers this season. They were
How
fun to
can't
watch.
you be?
They were fun to watch
Just
last
locked
year.
up 2 of the best NHL players through the prime of their career for 8 years.
Yeah, and quality guys too.
And those 8 years for McDavid don't start until
Next
season.
Yeah, that's. I think he might
It's like
regret
9
that.
years then. What do you
Okay,
got?
I got in the NFL. My least favorite quarterback, Tom Brady, is going to play over or under 10.5 games this year.
He's going to play over. He's going to play them all.
You think he's not going to get hurt?
No way.
He's so old now.
Doesn't matter. I don't. He's got guys that protect him. He's got great protection. And he can take a hit. These guys can still take a hit. He's going to play them all. Why is he your least favorite quarterback?
He bothers me.
Do you not admire greatness though when it's happening?
I do. I'm not saying he isn't good. I just can't stand the Patriots and their whole, and they're so good. I think that's why.
Does it bug you that they're Trump's friends?
Yeah, that bugs me.
That is annoying.
That drives me
That is
nuts.
annoying for sure.
So I should have just said that right off the bat. That's the reason why.
All right. The Lloyd Comp Barons will not score under 49.5 points in any Wheatland game this season.
I'm going to say under on that.
You believe they will score less than 49.5 points in one game this season, at least one game?
Yes. I'm going to say they're going to have one game in the 30s for sure.
No way. They're going to score at least 50 points every game they play.
That seems like a ridiculous amount of
They scored 35 nearly just after the first half against the team that's ranked number 5 in Saskatoon.
Then what happened in the second half?
Well, they scored 8 more. Their number one quarterback, their number one player, possibly the best I would be willing to say the best quarterback in the league, just went down with an injury and didn't play at all in the second half, barely finished out the first half.
Right, but would we say that's part of sports?
It is.
Like he could get injured and they might throw up a goose egg.
He could, but I don't believe he's going to. I believe that team is going, and Anton Amundrud got his first taste of actual high school action. Even if he does go down, I believe that Amundrud can fill in admirably for him. That team will score points at will. The only team that's a threat to them is Holy Rosary. There's no way that Bonnyville, there's no way that Cold Lake is going to stop those guys from scoring 50 points a game. No chance.
I got to watch more games if they're scoring 50 a game because that's exciting to watch.
Well, I'll tell you that right now. That game on the weekend was thrilling to watch. It was a fantastic game.
All right, we're shifting to hockey here. I have the Flames win total for the year at 25.5. Over or under?
Over for sure.
What do you think?
Josh Ryan would tell you they're going to win 82 games this coming season. Oh. Josh Ryan would say that the Calgary Flames are going to win 82 games, but they're not, Josh. They're not going to win 82 games, okay? On paper, yeah, they look like they could win 82 games, I guess. They're not going to win 82.
They're kind of the team that everyone likes to hate, I think. So
they're going to win more than 25 games. They're going to be better than they were last year.
Okay.
They may even push for a playoff spot.
No. I don't know.
Okay, draw the line there?
Yeah, that's too much. I'll give you they'll be okay, not playoffs.
Do you have the under on that?
I have the under, yeah. I want to go
You don't think they can win
doghouse.
25
I'm going
games?
doghouse, yeah. I think
What?
They're going to be terrible, yeah.
They're not going to be worse
Maybe
than Arizona.
It's a little bit of me hoping they're going to be terrible.
Okay, so are you telling me that in the Pacific Division that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win more games than the Calgary Flames? There's no way. There's no way.
I think it'll be closer than you think.
No chance.
I guess we'll see.
There'll be more drunk Vegas Golden Knight players.
Anyone that goes into Vegas is losing because they're going to be so hungover. Vegas might go undefeated at home this year.
Could you imagine what a scene it would be? Even if they went 750 at home, that would be incredible. All right, Denis Shapovalov will win 8.5 titles before he's 20 years old. He'll be 20 on April 15th, 2019. So, but 2 years from now, he will win 8.5 titles.
And he has how many titles?
0 as it stands right now.
So that seems like a ridiculous amount of titles
But
for a
he's
guy.
been very good.
He's been playing very well, but 8 seems lofty. If you gave
It's
me
actually 8.5.
8. Sorry, 9.
I'm going Vegas odds here.
So I'm going under, big time under on that.
I'm going to go over. I believe that he is going to win at least nine tournaments before he turns 20 years old.
That seems like so many. That's so tough to be
look
that consistent
Look at what he
every
did
night.
at the U.S. Open. I mean, it's incredible what he's done.
There's no question he's playing unbelievable, but that's going to take quite the streak. He's going to have to win event after event.
He's going to win event after event. He's going to win at least 9 of them in 2 years. What's bugging you on the other side?
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
Still off. Always off. Kind of combining 2 segments here. We're going to go a little bow wow, and we've got some what's bugging you as well.
Good.
You want me to start with what's bugging you?
I want you to start so I can see what you're upset about.
I'm going to tell you what's bugging me.
Okay.
Head hits not being properly enforced are bugging me. The other night at a Bobcats game, we saw Bobcat rookie Matthew Horbutter. That's his actual name, Matthew Horbutter. Took a run at Kobe Proctor about 3 strides before he elbowed him in the head. There was no penalty on the play. Now, I have a major problem with kids doing this and players in general doing this. I have a bigger problem with these types of plays not being called by officials. That should be an automatic ejection, and it doesn't matter what team it is. It doesn't matter if it's a Pontiac's player running a Bobcats player. It doesn't matter if it's a Brooks Bandits best player in Cale Makar from last season doing it to another player from Drumheller. You can't allow that stuff to happen. Those kids have to be ejected. They have to be suspended, and I mean suspended heavily, to the point that other players see it and think, I'm not doing that ever again. We just saw it with defensive tackle from UNC, Jalen Dalton, who took a run and took his helmet and blasted it into the head of Cal QB Ross Bowers, pardon me. You can't do that kind of stuff. And the fact that they're allowed to get away with it is absolutely insane. We see it in the NHL all the time. We see it in the NFL. We see it in the CFL, where Cody Fajardo from the Argos took a hit just recently for one of the Montreal Alouettes defenders. The more this is allowed to go on, the worse it's going to get. Leagues need to deal with this stuff now, and they need to enforce it so that these kids, and I'm talking kids that are playing junior A hockey or whatever sport they're playing, don't have long-term cognitive problems, don't have brain damage when they get to be older. And by older, I mean they get to be Kinger's age. When they get to be his age, they can't end up like Kinger. And that's all I have to say.
Do I look that dumb? The concussions, you knew about the concussions? And you know what? It's such a big thing.
I'm sorry I put you under the bus.
I know, it's totally okay. I just thought my face looks like a concussion face.
You look great.
No, but it is such a big thing in every single sport. And I think the thing that now the coaches are aware of this at the higher levels, it has to be enforced when the kids are 10, 11, and 12. Because by the time they get to juniors or college football or hockey, you've had 1 or 2 already by the freak incidents, right? And the suspensions need to come heavy with that. If that happened in a junior A game, I hope that kid was getting 10, 15 games. Like, I don't know what they're giving for
The fact that there's no penalty even called on the play is outrageous. And that's just an example because it's something I saw firsthand the other night. That cannot be allowed to happen. It can't. And now it's exhibition. That kid may not even make the Bobcats team. And if he doesn't, then he can't be suspended in the AJHL. But you know, if I'm a guy who's watching that from another league, the league that he's going to go play for, I might enforce that in my league and say, hey, I saw what you did there in the AJHL exhibition games. You're suspended for 10 games here.
Yeah, and the kid that's getting hit, it's affecting their
He had
life.
his bell rung. He had his bell rung.
Because you could be missing anywhere from 2 days. Concussion protocol says return to play 7 days, but he might miss the whole year. I've recruited kids that got a concussion and couldn't play anymore again. So
It's an epidemic that we're dealing with in the sporting world that needs to change. It has to change, and the fact that it feels like it's not being taken seriously, and it's enough. It's time to start taking this stuff seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
You're up, Kinger.
All right, what's bugging me is CFL based. I love the CFL. I love the game. I love how fast the CFL is, but the Rouge drives me nuts. I cannot believe that you can win a game by simply kicking a field goal and missing it. I don't understand where in football or any sports we give points or partial points for missing a goal, a field goal, or a kick. We don't give a hockey team a point for hitting the goalpost. We don't give a basketball team a point for missing a shot. I just don't understand where the relevance of the Rouge is. I know they talked about taking it out in 2005 and it got voted down, I think unanimously. I'm excited to see you take that out, then we know if teams are going to win that you have to kick the field goal or you have to get a touchdown. You're not going to win by just kicking the ball through the end zone. That is what's bugging me. I cannot take any more Rouges games won on rouges.
But you only get the rouge if they take the knee in the end zone. If they catch the ball in the end zone on a missed field goal and run it out, the rouge is no longer in effect.
But what's the purpose of even having it in? If you miss a field goal or you punt,
It's amazing. And I think that's what's amazing about the CFL game is these little intricacies of the game that are different than NFL. I mean, that can change. Yeah, fair enough that if he misses a field goal, I get it. You don't want teams winning because they lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want teams winning because they lose. But on the other hand, if we saw it in the Montreal Alouettes Winnipeg Blue Bombers game where there were 3 kicks back and forth, and if Montreal kicked that ball back through the end zone, that's an extra point for them. I think that kind of stuff is awesome.
But don't you think it would be more exciting and teams would go for it more if they knew, well, if I just kick this into the end zone, I'm going to get a point?
Yeah, but nobody's trying to get a point.
Wouldn't they go for it? If the game's tied down the stretch, wouldn't you rather see them have to throw it to get in the field goal range, proper field goal range where you know your kicker is going to make it, instead of taking that chance of, well, if I kind of kick it in there.
They're taking the chance to kick the field goal.
I don't know. The rouge bothers me and has bothered me for a long time.
It is what's bugging you.
Yeah.
All right, what's not bugging me is bow wow. Bow wow, we got a great wow this week. No, actually we have a great bow as well as a wow. Let's start on the bow side. This is Alabama high school senior Jake Pratt, who has Down syndrome and fulfilled his dream. So quarterback gives him the ball and he's on the move. And of course, obviously the other team is letting him score. And these are feel-good moments that just can't be replicated. Look at the teams. And this is the best part, is that the other team comes in as well, and here they come. That's incredible stuff.
And to me, that's sportsmanship, right? Both teams being there, all the fans on both sides. That's really what sports is about, is the camaraderie.
Look at the other team, how happy they are. I mean, I think that's probably one of the coolest things you may ever see. And frankly, sports needs more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
No, it's totally what it's about. Listen, let's get to wow, though. Wow's unbelievable. You ever hit a flaming golf ball?
Not yet,
Yeah,
no.
this guy here has. And this is what happens when you hit a flaming golf ball. You run into the water. How dumb can you be? Look at this guy.
What did he think was going to happen?
The audio was really poor on it, so you can't really hear what was being said, but the guy is literally screaming as he's running into the water, and his buddies are laughing.
What happens if he isn't near a lake or a slough, whatever he ran into?
He burns down.
Stop, drop, and roll?
Yeah, for sure.
And then he's rolling back into the fire?
Sure it is, or you burn. One or the other.
That's never crossed my mind as something to do for fun. Hit a ball of fire.
Ken, you're always good having you on the show, my man. Whether it's guest or co-hosting, it's always our pleasure. Give me the bump.
Pleasure to be here, man. I appreciate it.
7 days, we got Josh Ryan back. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Trade up.
You
got to trade up.